Hello everybody, my name is Trey Ratcliff and this is my NFT video. So many people have asked me to talk about NFTs and what the heck's going on, how do they work, so I thought I would make this little video for you. We released my first NFT a little over a week ago, and it was this Burning Man photo, and it did pretty good. And all the money went to charity, awesome charity. So I'll put all the links down below if you want to see more about that. All right, so NFTs. NFT, what does it stand for? It stands for non-fungible token. And you're like, oh, hey, that's great, Trey. What the fuck does fungible mean? Look, nobody knows what fungible means. No, I'm just kidding. I'll get to that. But let me try to describe it like in layman's terms, because most people are incredibly confused about this stuff. So, you know, Bitcoin, right? You heard Bitcoin. Bitcoin is invisible money. And the more people that believe in Bitcoin, and the more people that trade in Bitcoin and buy stuff in Bitcoin, the more valuable it becomes, right? The story of Bitcoin. We'll talk philosophically about fictions that humans believe in and stories, and the more people that believe in it, it becomes a bigger thing. So think about NFTs as Bitcoin for digital art, all right? So you upload a piece of art into the blockchain, all right? In this case, it's the Ethereum blockchain as opposed to the Bitcoin blockchain. It's a little different in Ethereum because you have these things built in to the upload called smart contracts that can show ownership, that shows like previous buyers, how much it went for, has metadata about the original artist, it's authenticated, and this sort of thing. So the more people that believe in NFTs, the more valuable NFTs become, right? So people can be assured, well, nothing's for sure, but generally if you buy a piece of digital art, as more and more buyers come in, that you'll be able to resell it, right? Maybe for a profit, hopefully for a profit. I think that's one reason. So there's a lot of speculation going on, but it's really, to me, it's no different. It's a warm day here in New Zealand, and it's beautiful. It's really no different than like real art. So I also sell fine art prints to collectors around the world, very limited edition. And by the way, I don't take myself seriously at all. This is not a little name droppy. But like, I have these cool collectors like Edward Norton and Leonardo DiCaprio. And so they get one of my pieces and they put it on their wall and they can enjoy it. And then if they want to, later, they could sell it to a friend and maybe make a little profit. Not like Leo needs extra money. He's not exactly digging around the couch for pizza money. But that's the idea, that art has value and it goes up over time. So why not in the digital world? Why does it have to be actually physical? And there are these digital picture frames that can show off your NFT collection on the wall if you want. So there's really no big difference when you think about it like that. I know it takes a while to get your head around, like what's going on in this wild world out there. Well, I'm going to show you. I'll show you a few different examples, a few different marketplaces, and yeah, I'll go into my studio. First, I'm going to kick this blue soccer ball with my fancy blue toenails. It's getting off topic a little bit, but people say, Trey, why do you paint your toenails it's all sparkly blue? Well, it's because, like my toenails are incredibly ugly, right? From lots of sports injuries and stuff. They're like white and all cracked up. And so I think, Trey, what would you rather do? Would you rather look down at like disgusting toenails and just go into this shame spiral of self-hate? Or would you like to look at like blue sparkly toenails? I choose the latter. In fact, what I might do, I may take a picture of my toenails and turn them into an NFT. Man, Trey, where do you come up with these ideas? All right, let's go into the studio. Okay, welcome back to my studio where I've just minted a new NFT. Okay, I'll kind of take you through this, a little bit of a tutorial, I guess. I could spend hours doing this, so this will just be a bit of a amuse-bouche. So first I'm going to show you this marketplace called Foundation. I launched my first one here with Kevin Rose. and we did the charity thing. So this is the one I'm most familiar with, although I'm familiar with a few. There's many different marketplaces, like there's many different kind of Amazons. I guess that's a good way to think about it. So what does it mean to mint an NFT? So you upload it to this website, and then as soon as you mint it, it gets into the Ethereum blockchain forever with your description and all that good stuff, okay? And then after you have to pay a little bit of Ethereum to do that. Ethereum is like Bitcoin, they're interchangeable. May have to pay maybe about $100 or so just to get it minted and listed. All right. Okay, so now that I have it minted, I will list it. I'll say list, and you put a reserve price in here in Ethereum. I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna put this one out for 5 Ethereum, which is $9,000, $217.60. What this means is that I refuse to take anything less than that. I'm not gonna sell this thing for 8,000. Ain't nobody got time for that. I need $9,217.60. I need it. No, it's all a game, right? I think if you approach it as sort of a game and you don't take it too seriously, you don't take anything too seriously, it's kind of fun. Now, as soon as I list it, it's going to be seen by everybody, right? My followers, other people that have bought previously on this foundation site. And then of course I'll like tweet about it and put on social media, maybe do a newsletter, that kind of thing. And I'll include this video in that one, okay? So I'm gonna list my NFT. List it, baby. Okay, so now there's this plugin that's also a wallet called MetaMask. And I have some Ethereum in there. And you see the listing fee is going to be $72. I already paid a little bit to mint it. Oh, maybe all in all, it's $150 to mint and list. I don't know, something like that. Confirm. Okay, so your NFT is being listed. Now, as soon as it's listed, people can begin bidding on it. Every website is different. Every little marketplace is different. Yay, I like the confetti. Gives you a good feeling. So now I can go tweet it, I guess. So I'll go tweet it. Hello, Twitter. Okay, so it kind of makes something for you. It links, or it has their website in there. And I say tweet. Okay, and now I'll just wait for the bids to roll in. If nobody bids on it, that's okay, because I still have my minimum price. I haven't actually done this yet, but I could like unlist it and put it back for a different price. But anyway, as soon as it gets bid on, there's a 24-hour timer that starts where other people can bid on it. Okay, let's go view the NFT. There it is. You can see the reserve price is 5 Ethereum, and people can now place a bid. So down here you can see the entire history of it. All right. What else about this particular website? Well, one thing about this website that's common to the others, which I'll show you the others and how they work, or I'll show you a few others, is when the bidding gets down to it, it's the last hour. If there's a bid in the last 15 minutes, they add 15 minutes to it. So it technically could go forever, like Endless Deuce, like 7 Days in Hell. You've seen that great documentary with Andy Samberg. Yeah, so that's that. So I'll show you another one that I placed on here. Okay, so here's one I made. It's called "In Every Lifetime Fire Rages." So dramatic, I know. I'm a helpless romantic, what can I say? Now, let me talk about the nature of NFT art. Now, I'm choosing to launch with some of my favorite Burning Man shots, and I'm animating them using this tool called Plotograph, which, full disclosure, I'm part owner in. It's where you can take a still photo and you can animate it, and it has this incredible looping structure where you can't quite see the loop. However, you can upload anything as an NFT that's digital. It could be a still photo, it could be a piece of digital art, it could be music, it could be both together. You can really do anything.
I've started with animating some of my still photos, and that seems to be okay, but I'm going to try many different things. My overall theory is just to experiment and fail and see what works, what doesn't work, which marketplace is good, what works for my style, where the most buyers are. And I go into it with full knowledge that I may make some mistakes. And then I'll learn from the mistakes and I'll iterate quickly. But I think rather than like try to get it perfect, and just be like this perfectionist, just put it out there and see and learn. That's kind of always been my modus operandi. So for this one, you can see that the bidding started. For this one, I put a lower thing because I didn't know what price to put on. Who knows? So I put half an Ethereum, which is $920. And then I got a bid about 40 minutes later for that. And then it went up to 1,000, up to 4,000, 6,000, 7,000. Then eventually it went to this guy with a very mysterious name. Some people just haven't filled out a profile yet. But you can see he bid 13,000, and he's the happy new owner of this one. If I look back at my other one, the auction one, which was this one, you can see that the buyer was Baron Resnick. Sounds like a cool guy. Actually, I talked to him on Twitter. He's a cool guy. So I can go click on Baron Resnick, and I can see everything that he's bought. He's only bought my work so far, so he's good in my book. But every now and then you'll click on a collector and you'll see everything they bought and how much they paid for it and the bidding history, and it's all like locked into the blockchain there. So here's another cool thing that I think is amazing about NFT art. So if Baron Resnick decides to resell this one, which he can at any time, I get 10% of that sale, like forever, right? And then that person can sell it, I'll get 10%, like until the end of time, with the small caveat that they have to resell it on the same marketplace. Okay, so if they take it over to Nifty Gateway and sell it, then that's considered in the wild, and I won't get 10% of that. But that's very uncommon. Most people buy and resell on the same website just because that's either where they're familiar or there's already a lot of activity there, that sort of thing. But technically, because this guy owns it and it's in the blockchain, he can do whatever he wants to with it. He can never sell it, he can keep it, he can put it on digital display, he can take it to another marketplace. It's his, right? And this is the only one that will ever exist. A common question I've been getting is like, well, couldn't you just take that same exact animation and like upload it to another website? I could, but like I'm a good guy, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to have my digital collectors think like, oh, that guy's a little sketch. I'm an authentic guy. I'm honest. I think most artists are like that. Besides, honestly, I've got so many photos. I've got, last 15 years, I've just got thousands of photos. So there's no need for me to do that, right? Okay, so that's a little bit about this website. Okay, do you see that thing from Stu? I have followers on this website, and as soon as I list something, they get an email that Trey Ratcliff has released something new. So maybe they'll go bid on it. Let me show you the front page of this website. It kind of looks like the old EA logo, doesn't it? Okay. So I like this website for many reasons. One, it's just very clean, and they seem to have like higher quality stuff. There's a lot of shit NFT out there, believe me. I've seen stuff, I'm like, why would anyone bid on that thing? I don't get it. But, that sounds very judgy. I'm not judgy. Well, a little judgy. So when you go to the foundation website, they often have something featured up here. I've never been featured on here. I know the CEO, Kayvon, and I asked him, hey, buddy, how about you give a brother a little helping hand? But he's like, no, I can't. We get hundreds of requests every day. I'm like, that's okay, that's cool. And he goes, you shouldn't have to worry about it. You have a big enough following and blah, blah, blah. So they always have a featured one here. And you can see this one is ending in 6 hours, 5 minutes, and 31 seconds. We can zoom into it and look at the bidding history. So he listed at half an ether, and it went up to 1,200. Now it's at 1,300. Bidding seems to get much more intense at the end. You know how auctions work. You know. Okay, and then we go down here, and they list other live auctions. This one ends in 4 minutes. This one 10 minutes. This one is up to 4 Ether, right, which is probably about $8,000. These are other ones, so it kind of, as you approach the end, often these get featured on here if there's good activity, and blah blah blah. We scroll down, you can see other featured artworks and what people are listing them at, this sort of thing. Let me show you this one that went kind of crazy. Every now and then something just goes crazy, and you don't really know why. But I think it's just sort of a bell curve statistical thing. Okay, so here's one, and you can see it's an animated thing. Great for causing seizures, but it's actually kind of cool. I don't know. I do like it. But this is made by Jen Stark, who I don't know. But it sold for $276,000, 150 Ether. Right? You can look at the bid history. They started out at 1 Ether and then quickly escalated until it was sold for $276,000. I think people see these things and think like, oh, I want to become a millionaire. I wouldn't think that. I would go with low expectations. You just don't know. But every now and then, some of these just like go crazy. Okay, so this is another website where I will be listing something soon. This is called Maker's Place. I'll tell you a quick fun story. You're like, just give me the facts, Trey. I don't want to hear all your stupid stories, your nails and shit. Well, too bad. So one of the founders of this place, his name is Yash, and he was one of the original guys at Pinterest. And many, many moons ago, I went around and did lots of speeches and talked about photography at Facebook and Google and Pinterest. And I got to meet some of these cool people early on, and we got to be friends. So anyway, 2 years ago, this guy Yash, he came out here to my studio, and really cool Indian guy. And he goes, Trey, do you know what NFTs are? I'm like, no. And then like he explained it for a little while about digital artwork and the blockchain. And I'm like, Yash, I have to be honest. I have no idea what the fuck you're talking about. And he stayed for another few hours and explained. I'm like, okay, I get it. And so he invited me to come on here, and we're going to do a featured drop soon. It's almost impossible to get a featured drop on any of these websites, I think. So they schedule like 30 days in advance, but I think mine's coming up in a week or so. Depending on when you see this video, maybe it's already happened. But you can see these are some upcoming drops, okay? And you see they have featured creators, they show top collectors, blah, blah, blah. So, I don't know, let's click on this top collector, 888. This guy buys a lot of digital art. Sounds like a good guy. Okay, so this is 888's collection. Got all kinds of stuff. Quite these choking a cheerleader there. That's what he's into. Good little Christian Bale action. As you can see, there's some weird stuff out there, man. He's bought a lot of these. So you might say, like, what's going on with all those? Okay, well, so that's a difference with this website. The first one I showed you, Foundation, is just a unique one of one, and they just do an auction. Here, in this one, you can do limited editions or open editions, okay? In this case, this was an open edition. In an open edition, I think it goes on sale for like, a couple hours, maybe 24 hours at a certain price, right? So you see this one was bought for $3,000, okay? So that was the price they set. So like this Wonder Woman animated thing, $3,000. Open edition means you're gonna sell as many as you can during that 24 hours, and then that's all that get minted. So in this case, he sold 153 of them. Pretty good, right? And then, so those are all minted, and then the edition stops at that point, okay? So you might be thinking, Trey, I thought these things were unique. Well, they're still unique because this guy owns number 63 of 153, okay? So in that way, there's a uniqueness in there. Now, one other thing I forgot to say, how do these marketplaces make money? I know Maker's Place and Foundation, and probably pretty much all of them are pretty much like this. They take 15% of the original sale, and then so the creator gets the other 85%. So that's how that works. They have many different kinds of things here on this website. You can do a limited edition where you say, like, I'm just releasing 20 of these at this price. You can do auctions here. Other websites like, let me show you this one. Okay, this whole NFT fun thing going on here. Nifty Gateway, where I would like to list, by the way. I want to list on Nifty Gateway and OpenSea, but I haven't been approved as a creator. Even though I'm a creator, why don't you guys approve me, man? You're hurting my already frail self-esteem. I need constant adulation. Come on, guys. But actually, if anyone out there, if you know someone at Nifty Gateway or OpenSea, hook a brother up, you know. So here on Nifty Gateway, you could do all kinds of other things, like, oh man, where do I start? Okay, so you know Grimes, singer, she's real cool. She's married to Elon Musk, super creative. Well, she also does digital art, and so she put her digital art on here. I think she put 7 pieces up, and then like in like 20 or 30 minutes, she made like 6 million buckaroonies. Maybe Elon bought all of them. I don't know. That'd just be a rounding error for him. Yeah. Oh, she did 7-minute open editions, and so like this one was $7,500, and she sold 388 in 7 minutes. Yeah. They have another kind of auction type here where this is a little confusing. There's so many ways to buy stuff. I think there's a lot of consumer confusion out there. But like, she could have put this one up as an auction, and she might have had 100, and the top 100 bidders all get one. You see what I'm saying? So it can be very complicated. Every now and then, there are like real life attachments to these things. So like, there's this one guy who sells like these digital shoes that spin around. And if you buy one and you hang on to it for 3 months, they'll actually send you a pair of shoes. Okay. So sometimes there's a real life component to an NFT, which makes it kind of fun as well. Oh, let me show you this cool thing on Nifty Gateway. So you click on stats, you get to see some of the most popular pieces. You see how many were sold. You see the original price and then the resale price, because a lot of people buy them and they resell them. So for example, this one, Faces, which is just kind of that flower, to me is nothing great. But you know, who am I to say? Sounds very judgy, Trey. So they made 4,934 of them. It was probably an open edition. That's what usually happens in these odd numbers. Sold them for $333. And now people that buy them resell them. The average resale price is $717. People are more than doubling their money. And total sales for that one is $3.7 million. That sweet, sweet iridescent face. Here's another example. These sold for $777, and the resale value was much higher. All right, so that's up to about 7 mil or so. So yeah, so this is, I think maybe other sites show this, but I like how they really promote the secondary market, you know. Yeah, so there's all kinds of interesting stats there, ways for you to learn. I know your head is exploding. It's exploding. Mine's been exploding for weeks. Stop exploding, head. All right. So let's pop over back to Foundation and see if we got any bids going on. So look up here. So by the way, this is MetaMask. It is a plugin that allows you to have your digital money there, right? Your Ethereum and that sort of thing. And so you log on to a lot of these websites using MetaMask. So that ties you together, okay? This isn't a tutorial on how to set up a Bitcoin or Ethereum wallet. There's a few tutorials on that. It's a little complicated. Honestly, I don't know. I feel like I'm a really smart guy. You know, I'm computer science and math. I've been doing tech stuff my whole life, and I get confused. I'm like, how do normal people figure this stuff out? Okay, anyway, so let me go here and click on my profile. Okay, and we'll go down to Awakening. Oh, no one's bid on it yet. Well, I have quiet confidence that someone will bid on it. And if no one bids on it, I'm just going to delete this YouTube video in shame. Yeah, so that's that. Let me see. What other questions? Oh, I'll wax philosophic here for a minute about this weird world of NFTs. One of my favorite authors, and a book I recommend to all my friends. I have a book list. Like, hey guys, if you read this book list, you can level up as my friend. One of the number ones is Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari. And he has all these incredible insights into history and anthropology and sociology and economics and these sorts of things. I read a lot of books on this stuff. I'm a science nerd. And he made this one incredible salient point that I had never thought of, and that is that humans are the only animal on the planet that believe in fictions, right? They let fictional stories occupy a lot of their life, right? And there's many stories out there. Some are good stories and helpful stories, and some are bad stories and nefarious. A good example is length, like a meter, okay? Like 1 meter is about this long, I don't know. But, well, you know what a meter is. Basically, everyone on Earth agrees that a meter is exactly this long, okay? But a meter, if you think about it, you can't see it, you can't touch it, you can't smell it. None of that stuff exists. But we all believe in this story of a meter. And Yuval Noah Harari contends, which I agree with, that it allows strangers to cooperate with each other. You don't see this in the animal kingdom, right? Because like you can be talking to a total stranger, maybe someone's printing, this is a good example, someone's printing a piece of art for you. And you say, I want it to be 2 meters across. And they'll be like, okay, I can do that. And then there's an exchange of money, which is also a fictional thing. You know, I'm sure you've thought this about currency. Is that like the US dollar only has value because so many people believe it has value. It used to be tied to the gold standard, but not anymore. Now it's freely floating. All of the kinds of stories, like time. You can't see like 3:35 p.m. You can't touch it. But it's an incredibly convenient story because then you can go meet your friend at 3:35 p.m. at Starbucks or whatever. Well, that's a good example, but you get it. So, and there are other stories out there like, I don't know, Catholicism, right? There's a lot of people that believe in the story and they all get together and they all talk about the story and like, yeah, man, this story is way better than those other stories. Those other stories are stupid, right? Those Hindus with so many gods. There's only one true God. And the Hindus are over there thinking, man, there's a lot of gods. Our gods are super cool, you know, we're like Marvel superheroes. They all have these cool superpowers. You guys just have this one guy that can't even like hang on a cross for too long. Hindus don't say that, but you know what I mean. Terrible example. I shouldn't get into religion. So those are all stories. There's also stories like, man, I'm getting super philosophical here, like golf. You know, these are the rules of golf. And then everyone agrees to the story of those rules. And then it becomes a whole thing. So golf is like an innocuous thing. It's perfectly fun. There are bad stories out there, you know, like men are better than women, or there's all kinds of bad stories that a lot of people will believe in, you know, especially like any kind of like radical group that is against another group, right? But that's just a story. People begin to believe in these stories. So it's a great way to always check, like, what is this story that I believe in? Is it a helpful story? Is it loving? Is it a conscious story? And I think that's actually a big problem with the world, is like this groupism, and you really start to believe in your story, and the other story that fights against it. Those people are bad, and we have to fight those people, you know, because they're bad. But really, it's just two fictional stories in competition with each other. So there's good stories and bad stories. Now, let's talk about NFTs. I think NFTs is a good story. I believe in it, obviously, and there's enough people that believe in it that will bid on stuff. So that's super cool. And also, in the bigger picture, I'm very excited about this for artists, because for so long it's been almost impossible for good artists to make money. You know, selling prints is difficult, selling music is difficult. We've all heard horror stories about like great artists that have just been robbed blind by music labels, because there's so many middlemen that are in charge of the distribution, that aren't, you know, maybe they're doing a good job of distribution and that kind of stuff, but there doesn't have to be that. So this is like direct from the artiste to the collector, and then the marketplace just takes a little bit of money. And so I think it's super exciting. You know, there's this guy Beeple, who maybe you heard of. He just sold a piece of digital art for like $69 million. And so some people were giving him a hard time, like, oh God, this is not very good art. I don't think it's bad. I don't think it's great. I don't know. I'm not really into that kind of digital art. But then a lot of people come to his defense, as do I, and I say, look, he has spent 20 years, you know, down in a basement working on this stuff where mushrooms are growing, and he's never been able to make anything with it. So really, this, you know, that is an exceptional paycheck for that one thing. Like, that's 20 years of work that gets up into that point. And I think it's great. Like, I'm sitting on 15 years of work. I don't know how long the NFT craze will last. Maybe it's just a spike and will go away. Maybe it'll keep going. I don't know. But right now it's pretty hot. So I was like, hey, let's just do some experimentation. All right, that's the end of my philosophical thing about good stories and bad stories. I like this story. It's a good story for artists. I hope you do too. Okay, tell me what you think. Oh, I'm also about to release some Machine Elf stuff. We have a second account here. Let me find it here. It's called Machine Elf. Machine Elf. So with Machine Elf, we haven't uploaded anything yet. This is a new company that we found here in New Zealand, me and my friend Sam. I do the visuals, he does the music. Here is one that we are going to upload. This is a super early version. So yeah, so we make these really cool fractals, and sometimes they're 15, 20 minutes long. So we're doing little 20, 30-second cuts. We're not sure exactly what will work, what won't work. So this one, we're doing 15 or 30 seconds, and we're looping it back onto itself, so it has sort of this infinite loop, you see. So it's kind of pretty. We got all kinds of stuff. Good music, Sam. Okay, so yeah, keep an eye out for the Machine Elf stuff. I'm experimenting in this brave new world. I may make some more videos as I learn more stuff. Surely I will. Yeah, I kind of like being uncomfortable and learning new stuff. I think that's really important for an artist, to just always kind of be pushing, and because otherwise you get stuck in a rut. It's good to keep your brain young and plastic. Oh, let me show you my barrel at the end here. Come see my barrel.
I started filming this outside because I want to show you this barrel. Speaking of auctions, there's this thing coming up here in Arrowtown, where I live in the South Island, New Zealand, called the Arrowtown Autumn Festival, and they picked 10 artists to do something, and I'm one of the artistes they picked, and to decorate a barrel that is auctioned off for charities. This is my barrel. These are actually the trees behind Arrowtown. Yeah, so it's kind of cool. A little infinite loop of trees around the infinite barrel. So if you happen to be in Arrowtown, you can come. It's just one of one. Actually, I'm going to take a picture of it too. I'm going to turn it into an NFT. Yeah, man, you could just turn anything into NFTs. Anything. Yeah, the mind boggles.